Great. Thanks, Paul. Happy football season, everybody. Look forward to getting back in person here, kind of a unique 0-week game. And I know we've got some media partners that may already be over getting ready to go today. So great to be with everybody, and welcome to the 2022 Wildcat season. Starting off, want to just, give great credit to our captains that got elected, last week. This group is something that I think is really special. I'll start with Adatamu Adabawore. Just as you just watch his growth every year in our program. He really took the team over this January. His relentless work ethic, his attitude, he's just been outstanding. Same thing on offense with Evan Hall, and you see the growth from Ev. Gave one of the best, we have some of our leadership council members speak during camp, and Evan gave one of the best we've ever had about what it means to be a great teammate and what he's learned since he's been here. And then Andrew Clare, to transfer into the program now and to see the respect level that our guys have, for him, it's incredible. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it, and that's the way he's been since the day that he got here. And then the 2 underclassmen with Peter Skronsky and Bryce Gallagher, both guys that I think from not only their playing, but also the way that they lead, are 5 guys that I think are outstanding representation of the team. And we had many other guys get votes, but these 5 guys were the highest vote getters. So I'm proud of them. And then Ray Nairo receiving the honor to be named the Wildcat jersey number 1. Ray coming in as a former walk-on, earning a scholarship. His story is well documented, but the way that he's going about, getting himself into this role has been incredible also. Big lot of logistics going into this trip. I want to thank Jacob Schmidt, our operations staff, Alex Nicely, our video staff, Mike Valentine, Eric Jackson, Curtis Shaner, our equipment staff, John Mukovich, our athletic training staff, everybody involved in those areas. There's been a lot of heavy lifting along with our administration to make this be as seamless as possible. And so we'll have one more practice here in Evanston, tomorrow morning. And as Paul alluded to, then we'll head out to O'Hare and then go wheels up to get to Dublin Wednesday morning with a opportunity to get back to the hotel and, check in, have a nice breakfast, head over to Aviva Stadium and get a chance to go with a run through and stretch our legs a little bit. And then be kind of after that on our routine, our typical Thursday, Friday, Saturday routine. And then, we really wanted to make this be something special. An overwhelming majority of our team had never left the country, let alone been to Ireland. So with the Big Ten giving us a bye the week after, we're going to stay in country on Sunday and give our guys an opportunity whose families are able to make it to spend some time to soak in as much of the culture and as much of the country as we possibly can. And then fly back here on Monday. So a lot of logistics have gone into it, but the guys will just get on the plane and, get a great meal, take a nap, and wake up. It'll be Wednesday and we'll be in Ireland. So excited for the opportunity. Everybody at the Aer Lingus College Football Classic have been incredible to deal with. The logistics are set, and now we just got to finish up our prep against, a very talented Nebraska football team. So with that, I'll answer any all questions you may have.
Once again, if you have a question, please message Athletic Communications in the chat. When you get called on, if you could state your name and affiliation, that would be great. First question from Matt Carlson.
Hey, I'm just making sure you could hear me. Thanks for taking the call. Hey, Coach, good morning. Because this is an unusual, or afternoon, I guess now, because this is an unusual situation, I have a couple of non-football questions. AP's actually going to cover this game in Dublin. I take it you're flying over on an Aer Lingus charter?
We are, absolutely. Yep.
And just some things about the Irish background, because there's some Irish names in the program here. Are you guys going to be looking up any family, or do either you or do any of the players have family and friends, et cetera, that they're going to be engaging with or looking up while they're over there? And the other question I had is a 2-part question. Northwestern's an international institution. I mean, I live here in Evanston, so I see it. Beyond this being a football game in a different venue, is this part of a bigger thing to build profile of the university overseas?
All right, let me answer this midterm question here to start the season off. I love it. All right, let me go with question number one. I assume that some of our guys, I mean, at least immediate family for sure, extended family in Ireland. I haven't asked our guys that, so I can't speak for them, but I can't speak for me. When Aer Lingus College Football Classic folks had me come, Stacy and I go over in the spring, I got an opportunity to connect with one of my cousins, head out to see where my grandmother was baptized, where she went to church, where she went to school. On my father's side, both my grandparents emigrated to the United States. So it was a very emotional time. I think we're somewhere now around 40 family members from Chicagoland heading over to Dublin of mine. And then we'll have my cousin and his family there. So I think we're somewhere around 50 to 55 family members of mine that'll be at the game. And like I said, I haven't spoken to our guys specifically about your question, but I'm sure our guys will be pretty locked in until post game. We're actually doing something really, I think, unique for the end of the game. You're going to be done about 9:00. Our guys will be hungry. And so we're going to have a whole family buffet back at the team hotel for all of our players, all of our families, all of their families and extended family. So we're expecting to feed about 600-ish about 10 o'clock, hopefully after we find a way to win. Could be a great celebration there at the team hotel. All right. Now I already forgot your second part question. I guess, yeah, we're an international school. And any time we get an opportunity to do something unique, I'm all for it. You've seen us play at Soldier Field. We played at Wrigley. We've had the privilege to play in Yankee Stadium, which have been pretty neat, type of opportunities, but nothing compares to this. The chance to take our program, the Big Ten Conference, Nebraska on the international stage. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We're really excited about this. And, I know our alums are. I've already gotten messages from a lot of my close friends that are alums that are already in country. And I've seen a lot of pints of Guinness show up on my text feed here already. So we're proud to be an international school, and hopefully this will be highlighted as we kick the game off in Dublin.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Lawrence Price.
Hey, Coach. Hope all is well. Lawrence Price for the Daily Northwestern. You talked about during the spring luncheon, a lot of guys that stepped up in the defense through spring ball. And of course, every season there is turnover, and, you lose guys through whether it be graduation, draft, or transfer, like Brandon Joseph, who, had elite play and a leader on the team. So can you talk about, some guys outside of the team captains on defense that, that have taken strides throughout the summer and fall, starting the season?
Yeah, absolutely. Up front, I've been so impressed by Tommy. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, that jumps out to me. I mean, there's no doubt that he's, kind of separated himself from a leadership standpoint across the entire team. And we've got outstanding leadership. So that says something special about him. But that whole group up front, we've added a few new pieces. And that group came in right away, just with a great attitude. We've had other transfers come in the past and during my time, and our returning players have been outstanding with the way that they've welcomed them in. At linebacker, Gallagher has, I think, really stood out, and I think it's appropriate that he was named captain. On the back end, Cam Mitchell and AJ have been really, really good, along with Coco. That group is, now gained more experience through what they went through last year. And I could list more, but I feel really solid about that side of the ball from a leadership standpoint.
Paul Banks.
Paul M. Banks, the sportsbig.net. Happy football coach.
Hi, Paul. How are you, buddy?
Doing good. I'm going to follow up with another non-football question, kind of going off the first one. You got that Sunday off after the game, talking about seeing the countryside. Have you guys thought about what tourist sites or tourist activities the team might want to take in Dublin?
Yeah, we have a number of events that were set up. We'll have a team dinner Thursday and see a show and Friday, that's Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to go see some sights on a double-decker bus and go to the Guinness storehouse and have dinner there. We've got a pep rally planned. We've got an opportunity for me to spend some time with some of our key donors, along with Dr. Greg, at an event And then our guys, Sunday, we kind of wanted to make it a little bit more, what they wanted to do. And we gave them 3 or 4 different options of some things that are pretty efficient. They'll probably sleep in, and then I've got a pretty busy night. My guy, Jack, my son in Loyola Academy plays Sunday night on national TV. So I'll be in my room watching that game fired up. They've got a huge challenge against St. X out of Cincinnati. So it's a full football weekend for me and excited to watch the Ramblers compete this weekend. But, we got a lot of opportunities for our guys to have some fun, but the goal is to go there and win. I mean, that's our focus. Everything else is secondary. But we definitely want our guys to experience. This is something unique. We want them to experience it and enjoy, being in a foreign country, meeting new people, building relationships, experiencing a new culture, and just soaking it all in.
Awesome. Have fun. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Bradley Locker.
Hey, Coach. Bradley Locker with Inside NU. As you guys have been preparing for Nebraska, are there any players that have stood out on either side of the ball with this Cornhusker team?
Well, I mean, you go back and you watch the tape from last year and everything stood out. I mean, we didn't play very well and they played outstanding. And, I think across the board, you look at the talent that they've added, is some very impressive players. That's been a huge challenge for our defense, right? We've had to go back, watch guys at their previous institutions individually as players. We've obviously had to go back and study Coach Whipple and what he did, not only at Pitt, but also at UMass and different stops along the way. And take a look at some of their other new assistant coaches on offense to see if there's anything schematically that we need to be prepared for. It's obviously a lot, and we'll know a ton after the first quarter where they're at, and then we'll have to plan to adjust at halftime and then see what they do again new in the third quarter as they move forward. So, as opposed to talking about individual pieces, it's been more macro level stuff that we've had to really study. And then, the individual players we've had to study, like I said, at the previous institutions, along with the returning guys that they have, from a skill set standpoint. They've got a deep running back room. They've brought in some new weapons, on the outside at wide receiver. That sounds like they're excited about. Their tight end's big. He's physical. He can run. And their old line got after us a year ago, and I know they'll have a couple of new pieces, but they really got after us a year ago.
John Riker.
Hey, Coach. John Riker, Daily Northwestern. The Ireland trip requires both a lot in the game prep and then the actual operations and figuring out the logistics. But it feels like from the strong year with COVID in 2020 to how you guys have prepared for recent bowl games and performed in those, that this is a program that prides itself on adapting and handling these types of situations and schedule quirks. Is that something you consider to be a strength of this program?
Yeah, and I give a lot of credit to everybody but me. That credit goes to our operations staff led by Jacob Schmidt. We've got some pretty good plans, from just, contingency plans and what we would do, the what ifs. And this is a unique one, right? From getting everybody a passport and making sure all those things are properly set up to, all the logistics of going through the terminal. It's not going to be like our normal trips where we go on the tarmac, through a unique entrance into O'Hare and get right to the charter. We've got to, clear customs and go through TSA and the whole 9 yards, not only here, but also in Dublin, and the same thing coming back. So, a lot that goes into that, but everybody at the Aer Lingus College Football Classic have been a huge help in helping with these logistics. So we've just, we've been planning this now for, over a year. Now it's just time to go execute. And I fully anticipate that our players will just operate in like standard issue, just a little bit longer flight. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to embrace it. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to lean into it and hopefully bring our preparation over to Dublin and play a really solid football game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah Efris.
Hey, Coach. Sarah Efris from Inside NU. I had a question about some of the transfers you've added this year. Obviously, Ryan Johnson on the line. You got Wendell Davis maybe filling some of the linebacking corps. Donnie Navarro could play a similar role as Stephon Robinson Jr. last year. What have you seen from them, and how do you see some of those transfers contributing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon. First of all, the guys came in with a great attitude and hungry to I think earn their teammates' trust. Our veteran guys, our returning players have always embraced newcomers and welcomed him into our family right away. And that whole group you just mentioned has had a great offseason, and that's carried over into a really great camp. They've added, I think, number one, competitive depth in some positions that we felt like we needed to, and it's a new time. It's a new era, right? Where, maybe 15 years ago, if a guy left or you brought in a transfer, it was kind of like a, whoa, what happened or why, and, things of that nature. Now it's just the norm. So, your roster is a year-to-year roster. No longer kind of are you projecting, in my role, at least along with our recruiting staff, a 4-year kind of, what we're looking for. You've got to be really nimble and ready to adjust. And, what's most important to us is that we bring in the guys that fit who we are as a program. We go back and look at their transcripts out of high school. We go back and talk to their high school coaches. We talk to position coaches at the institution that they're coming to us from, the head coach, if we have any connections to anybody else. I mean, we really vet this group hard because the culture of our locker room is the most important thing, and that right fit is the right thing. And we feel like we've hit some grand slams here with this year's class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Evan Bland.
Hey, Coach. Evan Bland with the Omaha World Herald in Nebraska. I was just wondering if you could maybe speak a little further to the challenge, especially in an opener, of preparing for a team that has so many transfers and new head and new assistant coaches the way Nebraska does. Can you compare this challenge to any other opener in your career, or I guess if there's sort of a fine line between preparing and over preparing in a game like this?
Yeah. How you doing, brother? Hope all's well out west. This is like the absolute norm for my staff. It seems like every year in the opener, it's a new head coach or multiple new coordinators. I mean, we're kind of used to this. So you don't start in August, right? This starts way back when in January, and you do your all-season studies. You kind of put together your preliminary game plans. You go through spring ball, see what the new pieces look like, and then kind of tweak that plan over the summer. And then you go through training camp and see if there's any rookies, any freshmen that can get into the mix. But it's a lot. It's a lot of organization. You're right. You got to be careful of the paralysis by analysis. But you pop on LSU tape and you see Trey Palmer and you're like, oh yeah, there he is. This dude's a freak. I mean, you pop on, the Texas tape and it just, there's Casey right away jumping out to you, and Marcus. It's not hard to see all those things when you pop on the tape. And then, when you pop on the success that Coach Whipple had, the last few years at Pitt, it's really impressive. And then, how are they going to mesh that with Coach Frost's offense and the things that he believes in and how they do things there at Nebraska? We're going to have our hands full, especially in the first quarter, on how they're going to marry that together, what they're going to do and how things are going to go. And then we're going to have to just plan to adjust with poise. And, more importantly, as always in the opener, it's about how you execute. It's about the turnover ratio, making sure you can make big plays in the kick game and minimize those against you. And then, this game, outside of maybe a handful against us in Nebraska, have been really close. So, conditioning will be a factor, even though we're playing at 5:30 and it looks like it might be in the low 60s. It might feel a little bit more like a fall day. I'm not sure any of the offensive or defensive linemen on either team will be overly upset about that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Absolutely.
Dave Ennett.
There we go. Dave Ennett, WGN Radio. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Cat. How are you?
Good. All right. So you have a new kicker, new punter, new long snapper. What's your comfort level with the way those guys have adjusted to their roles? And a two-parter, not a midterm, but how does Hull's role change with Cam back, and how has Cam come along?
Yeah. Will, has been with us now for a number of years as a snapper and was ready to go in a moment's notice last year. And, we had obviously a veteran there and, great confidence in him. And we've done a lot of wet ball drill, work with not only our specialists, but also our quarterbacks running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. It looks like the weather's going to be absolutely perfect. Chamber of Commerce week for the Irish, so we're fired up. But you got to always anticipate rain, so we've practiced a lot with that. I've really, we got to know Luke and Jack out of high school, and Jack being here, for a couple of years, again, some familiarity with what we do and how we do things, and then Luke being here for the whole off season has helped. So those three guys are ready to go, and they've all three had really good camps. We also added Adam Stage to the kicking group, and he's been really solid too. So feel good about the specialist group. It's great to have Cam back. He's been great in training camp, and now as we've rolled into game week, he's been the Cam that we all know, and it's great to have those two guys, him and Evan. Like I said, Evan elected captain. I think speaks volumes to the respect level and the effort that he's put in, and then Andrew Clare and Trey Tyus. We feel really good about that competitive depth in that room, and I go back to my time when I played in this league. The teams that had fresh running backs, it just seemed like you just kept getting hit with new waves after new waves. And, hopefully we'll be able to keep those guys healthy, but, we'll see how things play out as the season goes along.
Thank you.
Ben Chasen.
Hey, Coach, Ben Chasen, Inside NU. Happy game week. Obviously, we're probably going to get a too deep sometime soon here. A couple of weeks ago, I asked you, do you expect to take the QB announcement right up to kickoff? Is this something that you're going to drop sometime later this week? I want to give you kind of an opportunity to potentially update me on that now, or any of us on that now as we get closer to game time, and we're only 5 days away.
Ben, I've been thinking about this all night, and I'm not going to tell you anything. So how about that?
Sounds great, Coach.
I was a little disappointed you weren't first, but I do appreciate the question. So you want anything else, buddy? I don't want that to be your only question. Anything else for me?
Yeah, sure. Can you just talk about the offensive line? Obviously, a lot of the hype goes into Pete going into the season, but obviously with such a strong running back group, you're going to need a strong presence up front. What are you seeing amongst guys who are potentially first-time starters, or the guys who aren't getting the big national attention like Pete is? And what role do you think the rest of the line is going to play in holding things down?
Well, I do like the good vibes as your backdrop too. With the I'm digging that. Yeah. So I hope it's Margaritaville, but at any rate, I feel great about the O-line. Ethan coming back for a 6th year, adds a ton of experience. Charlie Schmidt, again, a lot of experience there. Josh Preeb, those guys have played a lot of ball, and we're going to really lean on them. I don't think that group is really too worried about Peter getting hype in preseason along that stuff. I mean, it's like every O-line room, that's a unique group in a great way. When I go back to when I played, so still now some of the closest friends that I had when I was a student athlete, now closing in on 48 years old. That's a special group, and I feel really great about that group. Vince Picozzi coming in adds competitive depth. Conrad Rowley, who's played a ton of ball. Dom D'Antonio, Ben Rather's had a great camp. Kalen Tiernan has been really solid. I could keep going. I mean, we've got a deep group there. We've worked hard. Kurt Anderson's done a really good job to add depth through recruiting. And that group has really worked hard with Jay Hooten and our strength staff.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, you bet, bud.
Time for one more question. Mike McGraw.
Hey, Coach. Mike McGraw from the Daily Herald. You, based on your history, it would be natural to expect that this is going to be the bounce back year that you guys are hoping for, or I've been known for. And I'm just kind of curious, after you've been in camp and been around this team for about a month, how do you feel about the chances of that happening?
Yeah, Mike, good afternoon. I feel great about it. Number one, because of the way they worked this offseason. I'll be remiss without mentioning Peter Ritz, our dietitian, who's done a great job getting our guys ready for not only training camp, but, also this trip and the logistics that go into that. And, Jay Hooten and our strength staff. It was great just to be in the building the entire offseason for the first time in 2 years. And, we looked like it, coming into spring ball, we looked like a different squad. I was here all but about, I think, a couple of days this summer, and the way that we went through the summer workouts our guys, I felt like we had our squad back, if that makes sense. And, the kind of solid trajectory that we've been on here over the last, 10 to 12 years with a couple of hiccups. There's been some extenuating circumstances during a couple of those years, but I feel like we got kind of our edge back, kind of who we are, our identity back. But now we're going to face adversity for the first time here in Dublin. The trip, we're going to have things not go our way in the game, and that'll be, I think a great challenge for our leadership that I feel is in a great place now. But that leadership really has got to step up when you face adversity, and I expect and fully anticipate that it will. But that'll be what I'll learn about this squad, kind of finishing up, this first phase of the season as far as training camp and week 0 with how we handle that in-game adversity. So feel good about us going into it, but know we're playing an outstanding team with a lot of, talented guys that are well coached and, with a little bit of a schematic advantage for their offense, with us not really knowing and having any evidence of what they're going to be and how they're going to do things. And then defensively, Coach Jenander's done an outstanding job since he's been there since day one, and they're very talented. They're outstanding up front. Those linebackers, man, I love the way those dudes play. Those edge guys, they're fast, they're physical, they're explosive. They've added some pieces there. They've added some pieces to the back end. This is going to be a huge challenge for us, but I know our guys are excited for the opportunity for a once in a lifetime game. And we got finishing touches in our prep here tomorrow. And then, we'll get excited to get over to Ireland, on Wednesday morning. So appreciate everybody. Those traveling with us, please travel safe, and look forward to hopefully making everybody proud this year. Appreciate everybody. Thanks a lot. Go Cats.
All right, we'll go right into questions. First question for John Riker.
Hey there. How do you feel like having such experience and continuity on the offensive side of the ball is going to be a benefit to this unit?
Hey, how you doing, John? I mean, we got the guys for it, and we got the talent. Now it's just all about putting it together, and I think we've done that this offseason. We've all put in the work. And now it's just time to go and execute. You know what I mean? I feel confident in all the guys we have there, from the wide receivers to the O-line, to the quarterbacks, to all that. So we're just excited to go and play at this point.
Thanks, Evan.
Bradley Locker.
Hey, Evan, Bradley Locker with Inside NU. I know you did a lot of training with Colin Kaepernick and Footwork King, I believe, this offseason. Could you take me through that, and how do you think that helped elevate your game entering your 3rd year in Evanston?
Hey, how you doing, Bradley? I mean, really, it was just a great opportunity, just to pick a brain of somebody who's been through it, somebody at that level. And so really, it was just a blessing to just be able to go out there and just play ball and learn from guys who have been through the process, who are all kind of walks of football, some guys in college, some guys in the NFL. And so really I was just a sponge out there, just taking it all in, and using that experience to kind of help me build up to this season.
Thanks, Evan.
Lawrence Price.
Hey, Evan, Lawrence Price, Daily Northwestern. Looking at the running back room you, Andrew, Anthony Tyus, Cam Porter, very deep running back room, right? A lot of talent. Can you talk about, how you guys push yourselves in practice throughout the summer, spring ball, and also just the community, what everybody brings to the table?
Most definitely. Well, it's an exciting group we have, for sure. And we all push each other in practice in the off season and everything. I think that's just kind of the attitude of the group. We all are striving to get better every single day. And so we use that to kind of compete with each other in all types of different scenarios, from watching film to what we do out on the field, to footwork, to, everything, to recovery. And so I wouldn't want a different group, for sure, to go out there to battle with, because we all push each other. But at the end of the day, we're brothers. So, going out there with the guys, we all are trying to eat at the end of the day. And so while we compete, when it comes to game time, we're all wearing the same color. And so we want to see all of each other succeed.
Once again, if anyone has a question, please message Athletic Communications in the chat, and you can ask a question to Evan. Lawrence Price.
All right, I'll go right back to you, Evan. Can you talk about getting the honor of being named a team captain and, how much that meant to you, but also, the leadership you feel like you're taking on or, what that means?
Most definitely. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head with saying it's an honor. And it really is, because, leading a team is definitely a privilege and not a right. And so I'm honored that my teammates have faith in me as a leader and as a player to kind of represent the program. And so now I just got to go and do what I do, basically. And it's just nice to know that my teammates have my back in that. They chosen me for that role. And just, it's like I said, it's an honor for sure.
Mike McGraw.
Hey, this is Mike McGraw from the Daily Herald in the suburbs. Just curious, what the Ireland trip, anything that you're looking forward to in particular, anything you're apprehensive about? How do you feel about this?
Well, how you doing, Mike? Really, it's a business trip to start it out, you know what I mean? And so while there might be cool things to do, I know leading up to the game, my mind's just gonna be on the game. So as exciting as it is, we're all coming in with a fine focus from start to finish. I mean, it might be different after the win, but coming into it, we're locked in.
Bradley Locker.
Hey, Evan, Bradley Locker with Inside NU again. I know Lawrence touched earlier on just the depth that you guys have in that running back room, but how do you think that your running style complements that of Cam, of Andrew, of some of those other guys?
For sure. I mean, we all got our different strengths for sure. And I think that's what makes our group so dangerous. Like Drew, for example, he's got great feet and he runs with an attitude to him. And, he can bring the boom too. So, I mean, I feel like he's really a complete back. I mean, and you got Cam too, who's really working on his, make you miss ability this offseason. And, he always runs with some thump to him too. He's working on his speed too. And then, Trey, once he puts that foot in the ground, he's already in the second level, and he runs with a physicality that's just unique to him. And then myself, I feel like, I got the speed for it. I can catch out of the backfield and do all that stuff. So we really all complement each other. Is really what I'm trying to say, because we all can do different, can play different roles out on the offense, and I think that's what makes our group really dangerous.
Gavin Dorsey.
Hi, Evan. Obviously last year wasn't quite the season that you guys wanted. I was wondering, has there been a difference in approach or mentality as you guys approach this season?
Absolutely. I think just starting from the off season, a big thing that we've kind of nipped the bud in is just our discipline and our accountability, starting from the leadership down. And that has been a huge step up for this program, I think, is that we're getting more leaders from our team. And it's not just coming from the coaches. I think this offseason, we really took a hold of our team from the players out. And that's made all of the difference, I think, in just our preparation and our confidence coming into this game.
Hey, Bryce, Lawrence Price for Daily Northwestern. You were named team captain alongside Tommy on the defense. So, of course, it clearly shows the strides that you both took in leadership and your play. Can you talk about, the guys outside of you two that have been named captains that have, grown over the off season that you think, some names that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, first off, it's a privilege to be named a captain alongside all the other captains. It's truly something special for me to know that my teammates see me as the leader of this team, and I'm going to give them everything I have in that role. And then I think everyone's come a long way since last year. And I think we've had a lot of leaders step up all throughout the defense and on the team, and just kind of like Evan was saying, we're leading from the inside out, and everyone's taken huge strides from last year, and I feel like we have a really good core leadership group on this team.
John Riker.
Hey, Bryce, you've had some great in-game experience in your career, but what about some of the other guys in the linebacking room, kind of that are stepping into bigger roles or coming to the program? What excites you about what they bring?
Yeah, all throughout camp, I think all those guys have done an unbelievable job in the linebacker room. We have great depth in there. We're all pushing each other and just making each other better day in, day out, getting in the film room together, just bouncing stuff off each other. And everyone has that great football IQ, I feel, and then are able to go out on the field and execute. That's the biggest thing. So just as far as camp's gone and getting into game week here, just the execution aspect is such a big thing. And I've been really happy with everyone in the room. Like I said, we've got great depth in the room, and I'm really happy where we're at.
And a follow-up on the camp. What are some of the specific ways that you've seen communication improve so far on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think that starts with me. There was definitely times last year where my communication failed, but in kind of just learning from that this year and making sure that I'm being loud and confident with my communication out there, I think is definitely an area where I've grown throughout the off season and headed into this season. So that definitely falls on my shoulders, and I take great pride in that.
Thank you.
Sarah Efris.
Hey, Bryce, how's it going? Sarah Efris with Inside and You. I wanted to kind of prod a little bit more about some of the younger guys who might step up. You got Grayson Metz, Xander Muller, both two guys who've been talked a lot about stepping up this year, kind of filling some of the holes that were left from Chris Bergen, from a lot of the older linebackers heading out. What have you seen from them in camp, and what are you expecting them to show this season?
Like I said, just throughout the whole linebacker group, everyone's done a phenomenal job this offseason and through camp, through spring ball, up until this point we're at in game week. Everyone, just the whole room's done a great job, and I'm really excited to watch whoever goes out there, play and execute and fly around and just be confident in themselves and have fun.
Evan Bland.
Hey, Bryce, Evan with the Omaha World Herald in Nebraska. I'm just curious, can you kind of speak to the challenge of preparing to face an offense that has such a high amount of turnover with transfers, new assistant coaches, a new play caller? What's that challenge like, especially ahead of an opener?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a tremendous challenge, but when it comes to us, we just got to trust our coaching, listen to them, just trust what they're telling us. And they got great players. They brought in great players, and we know they're going to be a great offense this year. So we got to show up on game day and execute and just do our job. I think is the most important thing. It's just making sure everyone's just executing and doing their job out there, and then we'll make the adjustments where we need to.
And a quick follow-up, if I could, just kind of to that point, how important are those in-game adjustments? I mean, do those happen after a play, after a quarter? How quickly are you guys going to be kind of adjusting to what you see?
Yeah, like I said, we just trust our coaching and go out and execute the game plan. So we listen to them, and then just, like I said, just go out there and do our job and execute.
Bradley Locker.
Hey, Bryce, Bradley Locker from Inside and You. A similar question, but kind of what challenges do you think this Nebraska offense will pose to your defense? And are there any players that have stood out in your watching Nebraska and trying to see some of those transfers that have come over that you've really started to home in on?
Yeah, they got playmakers all over the field. I mean, they got speed, they're physical, they got a great run game. They do a lot of different things. The quarterback, he's got a great arm, he's athletic. So we know they're going to be a great offense, like I said, and we got to just show up and do our job and execute at the end of the day.
Mike McGraw.
I just wanted to ask, what do you think about the Ireland trip coming up? Anything you're looking forward to, or?
Yeah, it's definitely a business trip, but being Irish myself, I'm pretty excited to kind of get over there and indulge in the culture a little bit and see what it's like. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's a business trip, and we're going over there to play a football game.
Lawrence Price.
Hey, Bryce, you guys lost a few big starters on defense last year, but brought in some transfers like Ryan Johnson, Wendell Davis, and, your linebacking group, Jeremiah Lewis. Can you talk about, their impact that they've made on you, but also the team just coming in, bringing that competitive edge that Coach Fitz was talking about?
Yeah, all those guys have come in and done a great job. They brought a lot of experience to us. So just kind of learning from them, talking with them and everything like that. But as far as on the field stuff, I've been really impressed by all those guys. They've all done a really great job, and I'm really happy that they're here. So.
Hey, Andrew, appreciate you being here. John Riker, Daily Northwestern. Pretty unique having two captains within the same running back room. How do you see the running back unit as a whole, both from a leadership standpoint and from production, with so many great guys setting the tone for the team?
Hey John, how you doing? Really, I just feel like that it speaks a lot of different things. You can just see like the type of leadership that comes out of their room, the type of energy that comes from a room, the impact that comes from the room. And it's just really great to see how much the team has actually felt from the energy and the impact that has came from that room. So it's just real interesting to see. It's just real big to see. And it's huge. Like it speaks measures that really you can't put words to.
Sarah Efris.
Andrew, how's it going? Sarah Efris was Inside and You. I wanted to ask, obviously coming in as a transfer and then earning the captain role, what does that do for your confidence knowing that, you came in, you didn't spend 4 years with these guys, but they trust you as as a leader and you're someone that people are looking up to now. What does that do for your confidence going into the season?
Hey Sarah. Well, first, it's just I feel like it's more so respect coming from the team than it is confidence. Like you said, I've been playing this game a while. I kind of built the confidence, but just having a respect from the team and being able to give that respect back, just being able to be seen as a leader, be seen as a person that people will come to just to want to talk. Just being a part of people's lives, being that light in people's lives, being that motivator in people's lives. It's really big, especially like you said, I came in a year ago, and just being able to have that impact after being here 1 full year. It's really crazy. I love my team. I hope my teammates love me. And it's just, yeah, I love it.
Once again, if you have a question, please message Athletic Communications in the chat. Next up, Lawrence Price.
Hey, Andrew, Lawrence Price, Daily Northwestern. You on the team where, you played last year when against Nebraska, and of course it didn't go in you guys' favor. So can you talk about, the mentality going into this game, especially with, the comments you just said, I hope your team loves you the way that they named you team captain, and being in that leadership role, they're going to look to you when, things might get tougher, it'd be a third down and they're looking for someone for guidance.
Hey, Lawrence. Well, first, I hope when we get into them situations, I feel like one major thing that has became different than it was last year is we're going to overcome those situations. We're going to embrace those situations. I feel like that's one of the biggest differences that we have from now and last year. So they look to me. They really don't have to look to me because they all have it within themselves. We all have it within ourselves now. And I feel like that's a huge difference. It's like the confidence through this team, the belief through this team is the sky's the limit. So when we get into those situations, we get into those uncomfortable situations, we became comfortable now.
Bradley Locker.
Hey, Andrew, Bradley Locker with Inside and You. Obviously now in your second year in this Northwestern program under Mike Bajakian's offense, do you have an enhanced sense of confidence within the running back room, within your role in the offense and how to operate these different concepts? And how do you expect to translate that onto the field?
Well, first off, I really feel like we've all gotten more comfortable within the offense. Instead of being able to speak assignments, we now speak details. We can now take it to the next level. We can now take it to a level that will help us win those games, win those situations that we were just talking about. So being in his offense now is just it, and being able to speak the details, it gives us confidence. It gives us belief in the offense. It gives us belief in the plays that we're calling, the plays that we're running, and running them to perfection each and every day. We had a good camp, had a great spring. It's just like now just going out there, execute, create explosives, and put up points.